It is the last Sunday of 2021. Some of us are excited about getting into that next year. Some of us are just glad that this year is finally over. But whatever it is, I'm just letting you know that God has ordained this specific day to give you encouragement. And I've been preparing for this word for a couple weeks now, and I'm excited. I'm excited to be here before you, and I'm just honored that Pastor Kimber would give me the opportunity to speak to you. So I want to just honor Pastor Kimber as she's not here today, still on vacation. But when she comes back, just know she's going to be on fire. And this year, the faith this year that's coming up, 2022, is going to be something different. It's going to be something more. And I believe that you guys are hungry for something that is different. Amen? So I want to go right into our text. And what I'm going to be reading from is from Luke 5, 4 through 11. And this is through the Passion Translation. Jesus sat down and taught the people from the boat. When he had finished, he said to Peter, "Now row out to deep water to cast your nets, and you will have a great catch." Deep water. That's kind of scary. Have you all ever went swimming in like a deep water? Yeah. Not the pool. I'm talking about like ocean that you can't see the bottom. There's some rivers that are deep like that you don't know. That's scary when you go into deep waters. But sometimes you have to get out into deep waters to get a deep catch, a good catch. Now, Master, Peter said, or replied, "We've just come back from fishing all night." You can already hear it in his voice. He's just tired. He's tired. And we didn't catch a thing. "But if you insist, we'll go out again and let down our nets because of your word." When they pulled up their nets, they were shocked to see a huge catch of fish, and their nets were all ready to burst. They waved to their business partners in the other boats to help. They ended up completely filling both boats with fish until they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw that the astonishing miracle, he knelt at Jesus' feet and begged him, "Go away from me, Master, for I am a sinful man." Simon Peter and the other fishermen, including his fishing partners, Jacob and John, the sons of Zebedee, were awestruck over the miracle catch of the fish. Jesus answered, "Do not yield to your fear, Simon Peter. From now on, you will catch men for salvation." After pulling their boats to the shore, they left everything, say everything, behind and followed Jesus. Father, we thank you for your word. We thank you right now for your Holy Spirit already moving in this place. Father, I thank you for every ear that's being opened, every eye that is able to see, every heart that is able to feel, Father. I thank you that you are already moving. You have prepared and ordained their footsteps to be here today. And Father, we say thank you. We give you all glory, all honor. And the church say amen. Now, guys, like I told you, I'm going to be moving like a hummingbird so quick. So if you don't follow me, you're going to be like, "Oh, it's over. All right, let's go." No. But here's something I need you to know. There's something that you need to hear. As I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to me. This is going to set you up for what's not just next year, but for the rest of your life. Amen. You know, there's building blocks. There's things that has to happen in order for you to go forward. In order to build up, you have to have the foundation. So I'm going to give you 3 points. The first point is building on faith. Now, this whole thing about casting in nets, I know y'all been there before. Y'all done something before, and you've done it over and over again, not getting the results that you're looking for. And then you have somebody just tells you, "Do it one more time." That first thing that comes out is that, "All right, I've been down before. I've been down this road. I've already done this multiple times. I'm just tired." Y'all ever been so tired that you tired. Not tired, but turd. I'm just tired. You ever get to that point? And to the point, and then all of a sudden, somebody speaks faith to you. Somebody says, "It's going to be okay." Or somebody tells you, "You're going to make it through." You heard it before. But this time, something is different. Something is different. You heard it different. You see it different. And you're like, you trust. I'm believing that this moment is what's happening right now. That building your faith is one of those things that you have to try. It's getting into deep water. It's kind of scary. It really is scary. And to know that there are something in deep waters, that means there's deep, big fish. I don't know. I've seen some stuff on Facebook and stuff. When you see a whale popping up out of water and like next to a kayak, that makes me want to stay out of the water. Jaws messed me up growing up. I'm just letting you know. When I grew up watching Jaws, I was like, that's it. I'm just going to watch from the beach. I don't even want to go to the beach. I think I'm just going to watch people from the beach and save it, because if there's sharks like that, I don't want to be a part of it. But, you know, and fear will limit you, because the beach is awesome. The beach is awesome. But how do we get to that place of big faith? Y'all see people all the time. I mean, y'all seen these mega churches or these mega pastors, or you see people that are business owners, or, you know, you see them. It's like, how did they get to that place? How did they get to, you know, to be so confident? I see that when I watch different people speaking, and it doesn't matter their age. It's like the anointing that's on them. Pastor Michael Todd, I love that guy. That guy is just phenomenal. Transformation Church, and the guy's young. The guy is really young. But I tell you, the hand of God is on him, and the anointing is on him, and I'm in awe. It's like, how did he get there? And we're going to get to that. We're gonna start unraveling some things. Have y'all ever heard of Burj Khalifa? Not Wiz Khalifa, was it? Yeah, not his brother or nothing. Have y'all heard of Burj Khalifa? Yeah. You have? Okay, I got one. For those who don't know, let's go show picture one real quick. This is the Burj Khalifa. It is in Dubai. This structure is 2,722 feet tall. It's the world's tallest freestanding structure. And it's 2.5 times taller than the Eiffel Tower, 2 times taller than the Empire State Building. This thing is huge. Yes, and they're still developing on it. It's a phenomenal structure. Now, let's go ahead and go to picture 2 real quick, just to kind of give y'all in context. So, yeah, you got the pyramids, Washington Monument, Eiffel Tower, the Empire State Building. This thing is enormous. And when I remember a long time ago when I was able to look up at the World Trade Center, and I'm just like in awe. You know, when it was still there, and I was just in awe of just how magnificent this thing is. And it's taller. This thing is so much taller. Now, I want to show you a third picture. Y'all know what this is? What is that? Leaning Tower of Pisa. Y'all got A's for geography and so in history. Now, both of these structures, they're historical. I mean, they're like iconic. What is the two difference between the first picture and the Tower of Pisa? One straight up. Foundation. Foundation is everything. The Burj Khalifa, it is so tall that it carries a lot of weight. There's every steel beam, every glass, every wall, everything that's put up carries weight. There's 110,000 pounds of concrete that supports all of that weight. It's 12 stories deep. Guys, 12 stories deep. Is there a building in Monroe that's 12 stories tall? No, I didn't think so. But imagine 12 stories deep. Because of all of the weight and the pressure, it has to be able to sustain. So the big thing that we're going to talk about is building on faith. You got to have a deep foundation. You got to be able to stand. You got to be able to be able to carry the weight, because if you're not prepared to carry the weight, then what's going to happen? You become the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And I don't know about you. I don't want to be a structure that that's glorified, but it's leaning. It's like, does anybody see this thing? What is so special about this thing? But yet, there's so many pictures about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it's glorifying a mistake. How many of us have seen mistakes being glorified? Things that really just, it's something's not right. But what happens if you have a strong foundation? You can actually build that sucker up. And we have to have a strong foundation. I told somebody before that, blessings, we all want blessings. Raise your hands if you want a blessing. If you ask for a blessing today. So that's all of us. We ask for a blessing. You know, if you're not prepared for God's blessing, it will turn into a curse because of the fact that you have to be able to receive it. You have to be able to handle it. Now, the spirit, we ask for what Pastor Cleary was talking about, the spirit of giving and the blessing of giving. If God prepares you, he gives you so much. I thank God he didn't answer my prayer when I was 21, 25. You know, playing the lottery, playing this and that, Lord, let me hit the Powerball, Father. I know you got me. I know you're watching me. I thank God that he didn't answer my prayer. Because at 25, I didn't have the mind that I have now. I'm far from perfect. I know that for sure. But I know that if I would have gotten that blessing at 25, I'd have been done by 26. I'd have been gone by 26, because you have to be able to build a strong foundation of understanding. You got to understand who you are as a Christian. You have to be able to ask questions. What is it that you don't know? I believe that a lot of us are afraid to ask questions. Why are we afraid to ask questions? It's because we don't want to look silly in front of people. You know, I'd rather look silly for just a moment than to walk through life and never knowing because of my own pride, because of my own, So when people are put around you, when people are mentors, when people have strength, when people have knowledge, when people have an understanding, and God puts them around you, that's for a reason. Every relationship in your life that God has, blessed you with, there is a reason why they are there. And you have to. This is the time where we have to really hold on to those relationships, those strong, those good relationships. You know, we even learn from the bad relationships. We learn from the ones that, hey, you know what? I'm never going to do that to somebody else. The good relationships, you know what? I'm going to share that with everybody. I'm going to do that for everybody. I'm going to go to scripture, 2 Peter 1, 3 through 8. And this is the Passion Translation. Now, when asking questions, how can I build a strong foundation? It's like, no one ever asks how they built that. You can ask, how'd they get those structures all the way up there? But no one asks, how did you build 12 stories deep? Because no one ever sees it. No one ever knows that the foundation is there. But you'll know when it's not. You'll know when there's dysfunction in the foundation. You'll know when there's a crack, and you can't hide it. Everybody will see it. So you have to ask questions. How can I build a stronger foundation? So work with me. How can I build a stronger foundation? I want y'all to say that. Okay, I got like the first 2 rows. The back 5, we're going to work on y'all. Now, listen, guys. This is exactly, the Bible is not just something just to say, hey, is a Bible, it's just a book. No, it's instructions. You have questions, it has answers. It is the living word. If you read it, it will open your eyes. If you ask for understanding, he will reveal it to you. His word will open doors for you. So you ask the question, how do I build a stronger foundation? Everything we could ever need for life and godliness has already been deposited in us by his divine power. For all this was lavished upon us through the rich experience of knowing him who has called us by name and invited us to come into him through a glorious manifestation of his goodness. As a result of this, he has given a magnificent promise that are beyond all price, so that through the power of these tremendous promises, we can experience partnership with the divine nature by which you have escaped the corrupt desires that are of this world. I know y'all have seen that. See it on social media all the time. Corrupt desires. People in high places with the desires of everything else except for the Lord. So devote yourselves to lavishly supplementing your faith with goodness. Say goodness. All right, we're getting better. And to goodness, add understanding. Say understanding. And to understanding, add the strength of self-control. Say self-control. And to self-control, add patient endurance. Patient endurance. I got you. And to patient endurance, add godliness. And to godliness, add mercy towards your brothers and sisters. Say mercy towards your brothers and sisters. and to mercy towards to others add unending love. Say unending love. There's a lot of things right there that the word has opened up. These are the things. These are the virtues that we should aspire to. And to build a strong foundation in order for us to operate in the blessing that God has given, that wants to give us, because he's a good daddy. He's a really good daddy. He knows how to give good gifts. He knows what you need before you even asked. And these things, we have to get a foundation. It takes time to build foundation. I'm going to go finish it off. It says, since these virtues are already planted deep within us. So it's already there. You just have to work it. You have to learn how to use it. It's I have of course your car. Everybody has, when you have your car, what's the first thing you do? You get in, you play the radio, you drive around. But you never really look at the owner's manual until when? Until something goes wrong. Why do and we shouldn't treat the Bible that way. We shouldn't say, oh, Lord, okay, all right, I don't know what to do. All right, so let's go in here. Instead, why don't we just go ahead and go forward? It's what we do with our phones. We don't I will give somebody some money right now if you have read your manual on your phone prior to you playing or turning it on. I got one hand up there. All right, we're going to pray for you later. All right. Guys, seriously, why do we do that? We should not wait until something goes wrong to ask for the answer when we have the answer here. Reading your word is so important. It's not just to read. Is to fill yourself with his knowledge, his word, and his word becomes alive when you put it in your heart and you apply it. And you possess them in abundant supply. They will keep you from being inactive or fruitless in your pursuit of knowing Jesus Christ more intimately. So what is faith? What is faith? I know y'all have heard the scripture. Hebrews. There you go. Now, I want to read something because that's exactly what I was thinking. But I read this through the Passion Translation. And it says, now faith. Not then. Right now. Now faith brings hopes into reality and becomes the foundation needed to acquire the things we long for. It is all the evidence required to prove what is still unseen. Now faith. I know that there were some things that you've seen previously. There were some things that you believed for previously. But the faith that you have right now is going to propel you forward. What can you see? Again, this is the last Sunday of this year. What can you see for next year? Is it just, I'm believing that next month I'll be able to pay my house note. I'll be able to get caught up with my car note. What else? You know what? I'll actually have some groceries in my fridge. That's what I'm believing for. Is that all? Is that all that you can believe for? I know that's the circumstances. When you're hungry, that's all you can think about is just food. So I can appreciate that. But can you believe for more? Can you see more? Can you see relationships that you don't know how it can be brought together? Can you see it come back together? Can you see a job? Not just a job, but something, a financial increase, a flow through you so that you don't have to you live paycheck to paycheck, but you can live in abundance and you can give and you can and further the kingdom. Can you see that? Can you see a marriage that's on the rocks come together so strong? And you don't know how it could happen. Can you believe for that? I know you have before, and I know it's been hard. But can you believe for it another level of it? Can you do it again? Now, every faith thing, it starts small. It really does. I remember, back in the day, I replied to Jason. I love Jason. Y'all know Jason Parmenter. If it wasn't for Jason, my Facebook page would be nothing. I mean, because his memes are just are crazy. But I remember he was talking about, the sandwiches coming home, the go-to sandwiches. It was bologna, fried bologna. Well, that was like something up here for me, if you have fried bologna. I came home, I thank God there was a piece of bread, and all I had was some sugar. And then somebody replied and said, you know what? That would have been really good with some butter. I was like, if I would have known that, add butter and add sugar, that would have kept it from sliding out, when I tried to pick it up and fold, So now I know. But think about it, though, how blessings, they start small. Everything starts small. You have faith like a mustard seed. I could throw a mustard seed at you. It ain't going to do nothing. But if it grows and I try to throw it at you, then it's going to be something. You're going to feel it. Now, for those does anybody strength train in here? Like work out? You work out? No? Okay, well, just a little exercise. It's good to work out. I'm kind of getting into it, and I was really, if you go into a gym, it's kind of awkward. It feels awkward because you walk in and you hear all the, and people dropping weights and all these guys all swole and people, and it's like all these pretty people in there, and I'm walking in there. It's like, okay, I want gym membership, okay. And it's really intimidating because you see all these people and they're huge. They're huge. Huge. They're huge. Now, I want to show y'all a picture real quick. Put that picture up. Y'all know who that is? That's Arnold. Arnold. Run to the chopper if you want to live. This dude right here, y'all know he was already, the governor of California and everything. But, look at them guns. Not that gun, but that gun. That's huge. All right, let's go back. Let's backtrack a little bit. Yeah. He was it Miss America? Not Mr. Universe? Mr. Universe. Wow. Arnold, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you a miss. Okay. All right, keep going. But that was when he was younger. Everybody started somewhere. Go to the next one. Infancy. That he doesn't look that strong right there. I think I can take him. All right, next one. Yeah. Oh, he's so cute. He doesn't look like he's, Mr. Universe right there. He doesn't look like he can kill out, the predator. He doesn't look like, he could be the governor of California. Everything has to start somewhere. There's a level of infancy that, it's in its seed form. I remember when I was in high school that I was very friendly with people. And I knew how to make people laugh. I knew how to make people feel comfortable. And then before I knew it, I was able to utilize those gifts for the bad. I'd manipulate people. And I started using people to get what I wanted, and it led me down to a really bad place. And no matter where I went, after burning bridges, after burning relationships, everywhere I went to start something new, it was the exact same thing. Because I was operating with the same information. It had to first start a change in me. And it wasn't until I got connected. Say connected. Connected to this house that I started getting new information. You have to have somebody in your life to speak truth in your life. And guys, when I say speaking truth, I'm not saying your hair is good, girl. I like your hair. Them shoes are rocking. Not just petting you, stroking you. I'm talking about telling you the truth. You got a hanger. You got a hanger right there. And not afraid to tell you. How many of y'all? If you really, there's people, you got a group of people, and you got something in your nose, and no one wants to tell you about it, what does that say about the people you're around? Because if the person that's closest to you, if my wife, and she'll be quick, baby, stop, right here. And she'll tell me, why? Because she loves me, because she cares about me. You need to have somebody that's not afraid to tell you about you. You need to have somebody that's be able to encourage you when you don't know. At the same time, we all need that. We all need each other to know what we don't know. And we also have to have trust. It's hard to have trust with people when that trust has been broken before. Y'all feel me? Especially in relationships. If you've had somebody ever cheat on you, in a relationship, it's hard to let that wall down. But if you don't ever let that wall down, what happens? We become closed off, and we can't really enjoy the relationships that God has for us. and really make ourselves available and open, because we have this mentality, this right here. I'm going to get me. I'm going to protect me. You ain't going to get me. That's it. But the moment that you start having childlike faith, that's when you're able to, let stuff go. You don't even have to really worry about certain things. Childlike. My son and my daughter, they don't have to, ask, Dad, can I get some water? And ask for everything. Dad, can I get in the fridge real quick? Can I have a bowl of cereal? Please, Lord, let me have a bowl of cereal. No. They know that what I have is theirs. They already know. They have full access because of the relationship. God has so much for you. All you have to do is just trust him. All you have to do is just put your care in him. All right, we're running. Number 2. Say number 2. I like it. See, y'all working with me. I love it. All right, drop the net. Point number 2 is drop the net. Drop the excuses. If you go back up back to our original scripture, when he says, this is Peter replied, we've just come back from fishing. He gave him all the excuses. Man, I've done this before. I've been here already. And we didn't catch a thing. Why am I going to do it again? He could have said, you know what? I was already there 8 hours ago. I'm not going to put another 15 minutes. I'm done. He could have said that. It would have been fine. It would have been, I've heard that one before. But he says, but if you insist, we'll go out again and let down our nets because of your word. Drop the excuses. Drop the baggage. There's certain things that you've heard, done that, been there, seen that. You got to let them go. Going into this new year, there's certain things, in order to have new things, you have to be able to, have your hands out. But when you're constantly carrying trash, you're constantly carrying baggage, then you can't receive. You can't grab it. You have to deal with your stuff. That's a hard thing to do. You have to deal with it. If you're, battling with depression, it's okay. If you're battling with addiction, it's okay. Deal with it. Push through it. Acknowledge it. Because if you hide and pretend like it's not there, Leaning Tower of Pisa, and people are gonna be clapping and all hands are like, oh, it's all good, it's all good. And all along, deep down inside, your foundation is cracking, you're dying inside, and then all of a sudden it's just waiting for that thing to tip over. You have to deal with your stuff. In today's age, mental health is so important, guys. It is so important. There is so many things that stress and really affect how we go forward, how we even walk, how we talk, how we relate to people, and the stigma that it comes against, mental health. You have to have your mind. You got to get your mind healthy, because if your mind gets sick, everything is gonna follow. Everything, because it all starts up here. So you have to get the head has got to be right for your whole body to be in line. Now, Luke 6:24 talks about the plank in your eye. How can you help somebody if you have something in your own eye? That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. God's not asking you to be perfect, but he's asking you to deal with your stuff. He's asking you, if you got hate in your heart, why? You have to know how to ask questions, because other people see it. Man, that dude is angry. I don't know why he's so angry, man. I just wanted to bring him a hamburger. It's just some cheese, man. He's like, I don't want a hamburger. No, but what it is a deep-rooted issue. But you got to be able to deal with those issues. Now, and it's part of a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes years. Just like putting the foundation of the Burj Khalifa down, it took years to do that. And imagine all the money and time that was spent on putting something that you can't even see. God is preparing you guys. When we come into this house, it's not just to gather in a building. Because we can gather in a building at Walmart. And I don't like going to Walmart. But we go to, we can gather anywhere. But when we come here, we hear and we stand in the presence of Almighty God. And at the same time, we're all in the same place. We're needing more of his presence, more of his touch, more of his love, more of his grace. And he gives it to us every single time. Every single time, because he's that faithful. But it's all part of a process. It takes time. Anybody who goes to church, I'm going to go to church today, my whole life is going to change. Yes and no. Yes, because salvation changes everything. You're on a new playing field. No, because you still got to deal with your stuff. It's still there. Now, dealing with mistakes. There are 3 levels of dealing with mistakes. One is dealing with the mistakes that you make. And I've heard, I used to be a youth pastor, and it's like, I need to make my own mistakes. It's got to be me. Okay, if you want to make your own mistakes, that's fine. But I've made those mistakes. You want to hear how I made the mistakes so that you know how to not make the mistake? But there's a level of maturity in that. The next one is watching your peers make mistakes. If you can learn from watching your peers make mistakes, you know what? I am not getting in that car with you because of that, man, because you a stupid driver. I saw what you did with your previous car, and it wasn't even your car. You were driving somebody else's car. I'm not getting in a car with you. When you learn from your peers' mistakes, it puts you on another playing field. You learn from watching others. The last level, and this is the highest level of maturity, is that when you learn from your mentor's mistakes. Your mentor's mistakes, because of the fact that now you've learned your mistakes, you learn from watching other people make mistakes. Now you're learning from somebody who is leading you to a place where you want to be, where you want to go. You have somebody that's speaking into your life, telling you, don't do this, because if you do this, all of these other things is going to be affected. If you learn this one little piece, it can set you on the right track for financial blessing. It can set you on the right track for a happy marriage. It can set you on the right track for a healthy family. You have to have a mentor in your life. If you don't have a mentor, you don't have somebody that you can aspire to, that's somebody that can speak into your life, please get one. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. Good leaders ask good questions. If you want to be a better leader, not just, just in a job, job good. Not just in your family, that's good too. But if you want to be a leader in the kingdom, you have to know how to ask good questions. Don't be afraid. Put that pride thing down. That's one thing I like about Planet Fitness. I'm plugging you in. Is that it says leave your ego at the door. I love that. And everybody starts somewhere. Start now. Now, faith. Say now, faith. All right. Here we go. All right, we keep on going. Unforgiveness. That's a hard one. 1 John 4:20. Anyone can say, I love God, yet have hatred towards another believer. This makes him a phony. Because if you don't love a brother or sister whom you can see, how can you truly love God whom you can't? For he has given us this command: whoever loves God must also demonstrate love to others. You got to love. You got to love. Y'all ever go to Taco Bell and, and it's like, I want 4 tacos, no lettuce, and then a Mountain Dew light on the ice. And you get up there and they give you 3 tacos, all chicken, and they just butcher your order. You know what? And you get in the car and it's like, you know what? I'm never going to eat again. Have y'all ever done that? No. It doesn't make sense. Why in the world do we do that up to people? That person hurt me. You know what? I'm never gonna open myself to anybody ever again. I'm never gonna you know what? I'm never gonna take that initiative to talk to somebody because they lied about, they told lies, and these people just left me, so I'm not gonna trust nobody. Why do we do that to people? I understand the hurt. We get hurt. Guys, it's not right. But I tell you, Romans 8:28, God will use everything. You have to give it to him. The moment that you give him that hurt, the moment that you give him that pain, the moment that you give him the frustration, that's when everything changes. You become stronger. You know how to speak to people. You know how to develop relationships. Holding grudges is not a good thing. It really isn't. I had a conversation with somebody at the New Life Recovery, the service, I think it was like 3 weeks ago. And I was praying for the gentleman, and he's like, man, I need you to pray for me to, just for my mind, and just that I just be better. I just want to be better. And the moment that he said that, I laid hands on him, and then I just started asking him questions. And I just, for some, the Holy Spirit just impressed upon me, how was your relationship with your father? And he's like, man, I was beat when I was younger. He used to put cigarettes out on me, and he beat me when I was a child, and almost into being hospitalized. And right then and there, it's like it's hard to see a faithful God, a loving God, when your earthly father has not been the right representation. But if you never forgive, and that's where it was leading, it had to starts from somewhere. That level of forgiveness, it's not easy. Sometimes you can't say it to your father or your parents. Sometimes you can only just write it down. And even writing it down is hard. But the moment that you put it down, the moment that you get it out, is the moment that the healing can start taking place. So I don't know why God leads me there, but just, you got to start somewhere. Get out of this victim mentality, the me. It happened because they were stupid, and they're just pointing at them. It's easier to point at other people's for your mistake because you don't have to take responsibility, But the moment that you take responsibility for it is the moment that you take your power back. Now, does it mean that you have to accept that all the mistakes? It really comes down to, how long are you going to live with that? How long are you going to live as a victim? You have to take control, because I don't want to have anybody to have the powers. You know what? That person just makes me so mad every time I look at them. That person should not have the power to dictate my emotions. And they don't even see me, but I see them. But yet I've given them that power. And it ruins other things, other relationships. Don't be the victim. Last thing, guys. Oh, did I skip some things? No, I ain't going there yet. I ain't leaving. We're almost done, guys. Almost done. Jacob, Genesis 32. Jacob had to cross a river before he could walk into the blessing that God had given him. But before he even could cross that river, he wrestled with God. So there's some things you're going to have to fight. There's some things when you address it, it's going to be painful. And but it's going to change you forever. The moment that you start dealing with it, then you start going to that next level. It's like having, playing video games. There's always going to be that boss level before you can get to the end. And once you get to that boss level, there's going to be another boss level. But that's how it starts. You got to be able to attack that first one. If you can't get past level 1, you're never going to get to level 25. Deal with level 1, level 2, level 3. And then you'll be able to go forward. And see, there's some people that already beat that game before. Ask them for help. Ask people for help. If you're dealing with something and you don't know how to deal with it, ask them. Don't be afraid to ask. But we don't ask because they need to see me like I'm strong. But yet, every time they see you, you're breaking down. Every time they see you, you're crying. So it's like you got to leave the ego at the door. You got to. DJ Macaroni. I just feel the impression of the song. Hey, play my theme song real quick. I know it's kind of old, a little dusty when the music comes out. Hey, now walk it out. You're gonna have to walk this thing out. You gotta walk it out. Jacob, he walked this thing out. He was got a little hip, but he gonna mess up a hip. But I tell you, it changed everything. Yeah, I like it. I did. Okay. Yeah. Remember, we in church. All right. Guys, the joy of the Lord will come upon you when you know that you start walking in his blessings, when you start walking in his strength, and you start walking completely different from all that you did know, and you start operating under new information. He changed his name forever. He was no longer Jacob. He was Israel from that moment on. God will change you. He'll change your name from, the person that had lack, the person that didn't know, to, man, he knows. The person has more than enough. Number 3, and I'm closing. Look at that. I'm almost done. I'm already done. What you looking at? That's my number 3 point. What you looking at? What you focusing on? When Peter saw, he was looking at his net. It's like, I already did this before. I already threw this out. And you want me to do it again. But it's because of you, Jesus. Because it's you. I'm going to do it again. What are you looking at? The direction that you look at is going to be the direction that you're going to go. For those who drive, for those of y'all, has anybody ever hydroplaned? It's a scary feeling. The rule about hydroplaning, if you start hydroplaning this way, what are you supposed to do? You turn where you want to go. You don't keep looking, because then you start spinning around. Oh, hey, look how pretty. You don't want to do that. You got to look at where you need to go, where you want to go, so that you can make an adjustment. You have to make sure that you focus. For those who ride motorcycles, I had a good friend of mine tell me, man, if you want to ride my bike, man, you can ride my bike anytime. And I laid my bike down like 12 times, man. I'm okay with you riding it. When he said that, I was like, I don't want to ride your bike. But he told me one thing. He said, when you're going through a turn, you have to accelerate through the turn. You don't want to be so cautious and slow, because that's when your bike will fall. Not only do you need to have direction where you're going, you need to make sure that you have momentum as you're going through it. Don't stop. Don't stop. I know it's hard. I know you have every reason to quit. Don't stop. Realize what you're doing. Don't act on emotion for something that's going to be affecting your life forever. Don't make an emotional decision. I've made emotional decisions. When I'm hungry, I'm walking to Walmart. I only needed to get this soap, but then I get all these candy bars right there, and they put it in arm's reach. That's a ploy, guys. I'm telling you. But they do that because you're emotional. Don't be emotional. You can't have emotions run and dictate your life, because your emotion is not the voice of God. I'm going to say that one more time. Your emotions is not the voice of God. Your emotions will lie to you. I guarantee you that when Jesus was was hanging on the cross, his emotion was crying out. His emotion is, I need to get down off of this. I'm dying. I'm feeling all this pain, and writhing. But he understood something. It was his Father's will. He kept his eyes on his dad. He kept on his eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on Jesus. When you're coming here, don't just come in here just to take up a seat. We appreciate that, but I want you to receive so much more than just air condition and a little bit of lighting. I want you guys to receive his fullness, his grace, his blessings. And you have to be able to trust him. And you got to get rid of the excuses. Peter said, hey, no, Jesus, you need to back up. I'm a sinful man, and no. He was the chosen one. He was the one, he said, I'm going to build my church on you. This is Peter, Apostle Peter. And what did he do? He told him he was going to build his church, and he fell 3 times. He denied Jesus 3 times. And then when Jesus died and came back, and Peter saw him again, he told him, Peter, do you love me? He says, Father, you know I do. Feed my sheep. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Peter, do you love me? Feed my sheep. He went from a mistake to being on mission. All from an interaction, a heartfelt interaction with Jesus. I know we just celebrated Christmas, and here we're done. We celebrated Jesus, the birth of Jesus Christ. Baby Jesus Day, I love it. Because he is the hope of the world. He is a hope for you and I. He is a hope for our future. I want to read this last scripture, and I'd like everybody to stand on this one. Ephesians 1:7-10. This is your promise. Since we are now joined to Christ, we have been given the treasures of redemption by his blood. The total cancellation of our sins, all because of the cascading riches of his grace. This superabundant grace is already powerful, working in us, releasing all forms of wisdom and practical understanding. All right, guys, I want y'all to read with me. Start from here. And through the revelation of the Anointed One, he unveiled his secret desires to us, the hidden mysteries of his long-range plan, which he has delighted to implement from the very beginning of time. And because of God's unfailing purpose, this detailed plan will reign supreme through every period of time until the fulfillment of all ages finally reaches its climax, when God makes all things new in all heaven and earth. He's making you new. He's making you new. Guys, Jesus is the answer. I told my youth that, and now it's like anytime I ask them a question, when was Moses born? Jesus. No. But good, but no. Jesus is the answer, guys. He is the answer. If you don't know Jesus, this is the time that it's not about, who's around us. It's about your heart. Have you given your heart truly to Jesus? Have you accepted him as your Lord and Savior? Because if you don't put that first rock down, you will never be able to stand on solid ground. You'll have to be, life is always going to be rocky. But the moment that you are able to stand on the promises of Jesus and what he died to give you, from there you can start building. From there your faith will elevate. From there you can start asking for small things and start learning how to ask for the big things. Every eye closed. If you don't know Jesus, I just want you to shoot your hand up. I didn't ask if you didn't make a mistake. If you have never asked for him to come into your heart and be the Lord of your life, I want you to raise your hand real quick. Oh, thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord. All right, every eye open. Y'all can look at me. I want you to put your hand over your heart. We do this together because we're family. We're the body, and the body's got to be right. So I want you to repeat after me. Father, I have sinned. I have fallen short of your glory. Come into my life. Be the Lord of my life. Take control of everything. My mistakes, my failures, everything that I think I do right, I give it to you. I believe that when you died, I died with you. And when you rose, I rose with you. I am set free by your blood. Take control of me. Be the Lord of my heart. In Jesus' name we pray. The whole church say amen. Hallelujah. That is the promise. That is the promise. Now, guys, last thing. What are you going to be believing for? Not just asking. Yeah, it's good to ask. What are you going to believe for this year coming up? Don't be afraid to have audacious faith. Don't be afraid to ask for more. Don't be afraid to ask your daddy because he wants to give it to you. And guys, I'm believing that this year is going to be different, so much more different. Blessings doesn't just come in financial blessings. It comes with so much more. And it starts with Jesus. Guys, put your hands together one more time. Let's give God glory.